I made a joke video which didn't fulfill its joke. Basically, YouTube has been corrupting videos I upload by making them green and then super gray, like a gray screen with little glitches in the corners all around, so they're totally unwatchable recently, except randomly it doesn't. And I've been reduced to superstition, flailing around and changing random things, hoping something works. Changing some really weird stuff. I have uploaded the four Celeste vids I meant to upload this evening of the, I don't know, 16th or 17th or whatever it is. And they all went up without corrupting when I changed the latest thing I changed. So, like, here's hoping, but maybe it's just random times a day. I don't know. Like I said, flailing and praying, that's praying and flailing, makes your prayer more effective. At least I'm just going to claim that. So I guess this is just some random test like ha 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 ha. Wow, that was extremely off key. Ha 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 ha. Look at these trees. I've seen them so many times. They're so familiar. The textures, they got clunks at the edges. These flowers, I've seen them so many times. Look at the textures. They got clunks at the edges. These lines of flowers, I've seen them so many times. This sounds like a poem with tons of rhymes. Oh, now it's too general, or too generic a rhyme, don't you know, don't you know? Yeah, I got a bib on a big old car, got a gas and it takes a lot of them. R. There's R in the gas, just like all of them. All of the R's. You're a pirate, you even stole my R. Yeah, we all know the world is full of chance and anarchy. Or is it? Because it seems to me like the world isn't actually random, because if it was random, you would get good things statistically half the time, but as it stands, you don't get them ever. Ha! Now, you can, of course, choose to believe that you can ever have good things at all ever, but if you do that, well, I'm afraid, son, that you have joined a cult of believing life is anything other than utter shit. So, totally, is this, like, probably... Hey everyone, we're living in a total death cult. That's right. Have you noticed? Everything is just unbelievably bleak and lifeless, and you're encouraged to not believe, by which they mean actually believe the opposite, because there's not really such thing as disbelief, because that's just meaning believing the opposite of whatever the thing is in question is. So, for instance, if you get mocked for believing that life can be good, and you better stop believing, well, then you're going to believe life is only capable of being bad, which is also a belief, but we're just going to say it isn't, because notice that, like, literally every fucking group does that, and they all think that they're the ones who are having the truth, and then everyone else is just deluded and believing, but they're also believing because everybody is fucking doing that. So, anyways, one of these days I'm going to meander over to, like, the topic, the heart of it all, striking at the evil core for all the world to see. That vibrato sounded rather like Duplo. No, not even as good. Sounded like, what were those called? What was that total Lego ripoff where, like, they stuck together so hard you could never get them off, like Mega Blocks or something? I don't know, man. It was a thing. It was literally Lego, but like a worse user experience. It was amazing. Now, I'm given to understand there's some kind of insano blano over here where it, like, wraps around the whole world. Oh, man, have you guys ever had a problem taking a phone call when those used to happen, like picking up the phone? This freaking phone ringing sound, whatever. Wherever it is. Where's that horrible phone sound? Oh, I would hate that sound, because it would mean someone's going to be on the phone, then I have to pick it up, and it's, like, so anxiety-inducing, and I used to hate to pick up the phone. I would stand, when I was living with my mom, when I was young, and I would stand right by it and not pick it up, and she'd be like, why aren't you picking up the phone? And I'd be like, and try to mumble some excuse and then go, because, like, all they ever do is just put you into some awkward situation where you just don't want to be. I don't even remember why I didn't want to be on the phone. But, like, oh, hate that. Making calls, though, even worse. But let's stop complaining and eat a hamburger. Except I'm not going to eat a hamburger. I'm going to eat quinoa. Like I always fucking do. If I eat quinoa so much, my face is going to get stuck like it. So apparently this is a map of the island with, like, lanterns that are... laser. Okay, but, like, how would you ever know that? It's supposed to help you, but how would you ever know that? And I guess there's like a spirit of the forest. Hiding in those northern lights. So the lanterns are the lasers and the fountains are... I've already forgot. So, yeah. But like that... You can't even zoom with your super laser zoom eye in this game over here. Oh, am I supposed to... So she's holding a cube. But there's a lot of visual glitch, not glitches, no, Easter eggs. Dude, don't libel slander the game. It's exactly the same thing. Libel sounds like lie, but it's got bell on the end. Sort of like estoppel sounds like stop, except it's the stupidest word ever. Why can't you just say stoppage or cessation or something? You have to say estoppel, which sounds so dumb. It sounds like something a 5-year-old would come up with. Like, I would have come up with that when I was 5. I would have been like trying to make up fun words, and I would have been like estoppel. That's like my version of what a grown-up sounding word would have been. And I can't believe grown-ups actually use this word with a straight face. Like, I just can't get over it. Estoppel. And it's L. Estoppel. So dumb. And some legal experts will be like, well, the reason they don't say cessation is because it means a very specific thing. Yeah, shut up. It's dumb. That's my extremely technical argument. Oh, this video's probably gonna get chopped up. Oh, this video's probably gonna get chopped up. Because I can't be saying no nonsense. This thing almost looks like a dam, kind of, except it isn't really, and it's not generating electricity. What's good as a dam if it's not generating electricity? It's being some sort of early 20th century engineering. We're going to tear up nature. We know better. Nature's only had a few billion years. We've had a century of science that ends up being incomplete. Because, like, I mean, probably more commonly than scientific theories ending up outright wrong is them ending up, like, right but not the whole picture or something. You know, like Newtonian physics. It never got invalidated. It's just it got expanded. It's still right in its realm. But there's other things and stuff, yeah. At least that's how I understand it. I'm not an actual scientist, it may surprise you to know, but I'm just the kind of guy who blabs off at the mouth after doing a slight amount of research. I'm arrogant. Oh, yeah, baby. So if you're into arrogant people, I'm your man. Except I get super weirdly emotional whenever I'm intimate with someone and it turns into a maelstrom, and then I go like, blah, 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 and then it gets fucked, and not in the fun way. I've been thinking a lot about why that might be. And saying it in footage that I then delete because I'm just like, no, that wasn't quite right, because now I'm peeling off more layers of the universal onion, and it really is to blame. Did Feynman actually call it an onion, or did he just say layers? Like, the universe is an onion. Well, possibly anyway. I love how at the end of the video he says, lost in this mysterious universe with no clear purpose, which is really how it is, I think, possibly. Like, he says really confidently, which is really how it is, but then he says possibly at the end, like, just just to drive home the point that even that he's not completely sure of. Possibly. I mean, I have my own personal thoughts about the universe. I do anyway, because, yeah, I just pretend not to for safety, but the lie's gotta end at some point, don't they now? Yes, they do. Because a few years back I was doing some research, on consciousness research. Very interesting and complex and contentious. So if you like contentiousness, well, you can research away. And I came to some sort of thoughts which fall on some side of the debate. Yes. And like any good annoying human being, I'm absolutely dead fucking convinced that I'm right. You know what? Actually, I don't give a fuck. I am special. I'm very, 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 very special. I thought I was going to be able to break those two words in half and say, like, spes means something and eol means something, and I'm going to put them together in a comically incorrect way and say, like, there, see. But no, I don't think that is the case. Oh, well. I'm species, eol. Apparently Species was a 90s movie that was just an excuse to have hot, naked alien sex. So much better than hot, clothed alien sex, unless, of course, clothed alien sex is more your thing, which is totally fine. That can certainly be hot. But don't forget the love kink, which totally throws away the whole concept of hotness and turns it into warmth. Ooh, yeah. Time here is warped. So what exactly is this windmill milling anyway? Quinoa? You know, quinoa. I knew of quinoa since I was a kid because we used to get these healthy cereals with like, oh, this grains and that grains, and there was like one that was spelt quinoa and kamut, and it told you how to pronounce quinoa on the package, and it also introduced me to the term, the word should in the old-fashioned, like, well, we will do this should we find ourselves in trouble, you know? But, like, I didn't realize what the grammar of it was, so it was just weird to me. It was like, oh, it's like, blah, blah, blah will happen, should we do the blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I guess I'll just eat this cereal. And then, yeah, eating cereal and drinking apple juice. Apple juice was my drink back then because I just ate the same things over and over, kind of like now. But I was a picky eater, but it was because the texture of a lot of foods made me like, ugh. Like some foods I couldn't stand. I mean, the taste and everything. Like I had a sensitive palate back then, you know? And the taste and particularly the texture of some things, like even if the taste was okay. That's why to this day I don't like pineapples. People talk about, oh, you don't want pineapple on pizza. I'm like, well, I don't like pineapple on pizza, but I don't like pineapples in the first place. So, and it's mainly their texture, right? Like back when I was drinking anything other than water and stevia stuff, I would sometimes drink pineapple juice. I can drink pineapple juice. The taste is totally fine. I just hate the texture. Pineapple. Mostly that's the same thing with tomatoes too. I fucking hate the squishy, horrible texture of tomatoes. Ugh. And the taste is not super amazing either unless you put it in a sauce and then it somehow becomes good. Possibly because the spices. I don't know. But who can say? All I know is I'm completely unimpressed with the idea of sentient AI in the real world, but I love the idea in fiction. I think because it represents something like... You got a robot in the story, and I kind of relate to their struggles to, like, fit in and, you know, they, not to insult myself and say, because I'm on the autism spectrum, I'm a robot. But, I mean, kinda, sometimes. Maybe not as much now. But just, like, saying things that you're sure are correct, but then they always just seem to be wrong, and you always just seem to be awkward, and, I don't know. And then, like, them being loved anyway, which is, like, super heartwarming. I don't know. But then there's, like, evil ones like GLaDOS, but she's funny, so... Anyways, and I don't just think that randomly. Who the hell cares, I guess? Oh, hey, that turtle severed another turtle's head, because if it's got one eye that looks like an eye, it's severed its head. Or it could be something even worse, like turtle feces. Oh, it's not something you want in your theme song. What the hell is a half shell, anyway? And why do they say turtle power? Devoid of any context. That's such an annoying thing. You go, up, turtle power, turtle power. What about turtle power? Turtle power. Weirdly, I don't feel embarrassed about being the whole My Little Pony thing. Like, you totally think I would. Because, like, I just jumped in and didn't think at all and just enjoyed myself and, like, spewed catchphrases and all that. But I don't feel embarrassed, possibly because like tons of people were there with me and they seem to have come out of it and have good careers or whatever. I don't know. It's strange. But hey, I'll take luck when I can get it. Thank you very much. Even, you know, my videos during those, 2012 and a few years after that, I constantly would make My Little Pony references or Herpader. Those were an amazing few years. Even if it was rather puppy love-ish, still, that's pretty amazing in itself, I guess, and you can't complain. But even then, I kind of knew in the back of my mind this tiny little thing in the back of my mind that I knew that I was going to have to leave at some point. I remember it now, like it was just this tiny, almost imperceptible message in my head saying like, hey, this isn't a forever thing. But I kind of just went, whatever, I don't care. It feels amazing. The whole world felt sunny and sparkly and magic. It felt outside of everything ordinary. Felt new. And, well, it's hard to describe how it felt, but it all just felt warm and sparkly every day. For a while. Maybe a year. And then a chain of events happened that kind of popped that bubble, and I was still there afterward for a few years, but it was never the same. It was different than anything I'd felt before, that's for sure. But nevertheless, Even as amazing as that was, it wasn't going to be a forever thing, was it? This thing I left, I just feel like nothing is going to be real until I somehow go back, but I can't go back to how it was before because there was always this tension. Well, even with MLP, there was a tension. In fact, every time I've been joyful or happy, there's always been this weird tension underlying that kind of sabotages it eventually or something. Maybe that's just how it is, or maybe that's just how it is for me. I don't have a point of reference.
You think you're more advanced than me, new kid?
Whatever I just binged, I'm just going to reference constantly. I can't stop referencing whatever I just binged would be the more accurate way to phrase the song, certainly. Oh, it's gonna swallow me, oh, the temple, it's gonna swallow me up, and I'll like it, yeah. Anyways, I'm not, oh yeah, that's what in Celeste I was gonna say, not gonna say the pensive shit. In that video, I'm going to say it here. Oh, pensive, 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 pensive. I'm going to cut that part out. That part is like seriously boring. It's just me repeating pensive over and over. You think I'm joking. Of course, it's none of my business to tell you what you think. You think whatever it is you think, and I don't actually know that because that's what I meant. Actually, it's no use saying that here. They're not watching. I like meat, but I'm not sure I'm ready to love again. I'm not sure I'm ready to love ever. I seem to have an issue, and I think I'm starting to know what it might be. Hello, telephone in advance. Yes, thank you. Because I'm having to pretend things right now already, for my perceived safety and lack of embarrassment, I would therefore, if I was in a relationship now, I would also have to pretend. And like, I'm sorry, I don't like pretending here, but it's just barely okay. But I couldn't. I know, even I know. I don't know shit about relationships, but even I know it's a bad idea to, like, pretend to be someone you're not, even if it's to avoid embarrassment, because you don't want to be with someone who's one thing and they're expecting that you're one thing, but then it turns out you're not, and they're like, oh, hey, after all, yeah, no, you want to be with someone who's as crazy and stupid as me, because then at least we can all be honest, right? The whole Richard Feynman thing, like, he's being very sensible, and so that sort of appeals to a part of me because it's something I can be like, oh yeah, I'm with that, and it's sensible too, so it won't embarrass me. I really need to get over this shit, but one has to say that one wants to get over it oneself because other people telling you is just going to make you dig your heels in, and as cute as that might sound. Oh, take my bib! The Buckleberry Fairy. Follow me. Not at all his accent. Oh my god, dude. It's funny how people are always telling you to be realistic whenever you say that anything good exists whatsoever, but then they want to believe that everything in the universe is just horrible. I'm like, but why do you think that's any more realistic? Like, if you can do that, then shut the hell up. If you know humans have a negativity bias, you should bloody well be accounting for it in your smart-ass, wise-ass... Okay, wow. Smart-ass and wise-ass mean the opposite of what I'm trying to say. You're super smart and wise and above everybody views there. Anyways, yes. But then again, who really cares? Being fulfilled, unfortunately, requires all kinds of things repugnant to the defense mechanism that's trying to protect you from embarrassment. Very unfortunately, if I could be fulfilled by being reasonable... it's not just that I'm not fulfilled, it's that you get antsy. You know that you want to do something magical and full of bursting color in your life. And it drives you crazy every day knowing like you pull yourself away from your joy or whatever the hell you want to call it. And it takes so much fucking energy to do that. Jesus. And it just closes you off and you get miserable and lifeless like me. And yeah, it doesn't hurt. And you don't feel the burn of embarrassment. But you also waste your whole fucking life. I'm in this place now where I've pretended to be something I'm different for so fucking long. For safety, to try to escape perceived stupidity. That everyone around me now thinks I'm some paragon of reasonability who doesn't ever think or do anything stupid. Not in a major sense, anyway. You would all fucking disappear. But I am literally incapable of living the life that reasonable people want me to live. I tried. I've tried for more than a decade. And this is what you get. Me now. My body is broken. My spirit is broken. And I've just resigned myself. And I'm more or less just waiting to die of old age, which is going to take rather a long time, but try to get the days to go by as fast as possible, because if you can't have option A, that is the only other option. Or try to live the way people want me to. And I know if I say that, you're going to be like, well, don't live the way people want you to, live the way you... Yeah, it's easy to say that, isn't it? I want the truth all the time, but it's not for any noble reason. It's literally for protection. It's that fucking small. I want everything I say, think, and believe to always be the truth, because if you're never wrong, you're never an idiot. Or if not, then it should be the truth as much as far as anybody knows. Because there's no shame in that, I guess. Maybe. At the same time, the truth is a trap, because the more facts you learn, the more they close in on you. Like, we're just in this box with particles just circling around and around and around, never creating, never destroying. It's fucking torture. Oh yeah, back to whatever I was saying before. Boop. Like if you had a broken foot, you don't fucking walk on your foot. Well, it's the same thing if you've got a weakness where you get unbearable embarrassment attacks. Your whole life revolves around priority number one, which is avoid embarrassment at all costs. You might ask, Fan, why are you so miserable? Like, you know what it is that makes you miserable, so why don't you just stop doing it? Why don't you stop believing the things that make you angry and miserable and despairing? That's a very good question. The reason is because being angry, miserable, and despairing is less worse than the alternative, which is being unbearably embarrassed. It is less worse. You know, let me put it this way. The happiest I've ever been were times when I wasn't thinking at all. I was accepting and appreciating, and people are just terrified of that. Everybody wants to think. I'm terrified of that. I gotta think, or else the consequences will be horrible. If I'm caught not thinking, oh my god, except for some reason I'm not embarrassed about MLP. I don't know, bruh. Maybe if enough people are around to, like, reassure me that it's not crazy, then I can fucking say okay. I don't know. Because, like, fucking everybody was like, oh yeah, like, famous celebrities and all kinds of people, like, who would have way more to lose by being embarrassed than me. So I guess it's okay. Wow. Everybody fucking dictates my life. But, like, how should that not be the case? It just is. I mean, what do you want? How much of this crap am I going to cut right out in its face? In the same way that a mountain is, and Amblebbity Floppy Smith isn't. Someone should name their daughter Andromeda. Missed opportunity, Frank Zappa. I gotta watch the length on this one with all the pensivity up in this frickin' drive. Up in this drive! Yes, I'm gonna edit the life out of this, and it's just gonna end up just another video where I'm like, herp-a-derp, look at all this pointless stuff I'm saying when I edited out all the important parts. One of these days, I swear. I do that often enough. I don't think I have to one of these days it whatsoever. Who knows?